Hi everyone and welcome to Tech Cravers. Let me explain that title. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love handheld gaming devices. I've got a bunch of them lying around and I'm usually not a hater at all. But one device I've never been interested in owning is the PlayStation Portal, and here's why. It's not really a handheld, it's more like a mirror. Yet, here I am holding the 30th anniversary limited edition of the PlayStation Portal. And while I unboxed its absolute beauty, I will give you my thoughts on why I waited so long to get myself a Portal. Let me break it down. The PlayStation Portal doesn't run games on its own. Instead, it mirrors what's happening on your PlayStation 5. So to even use it, you need a PlayStation 5 because the Portal is designed to stream your PlayStation 5 games to the smaller screen. You're essentially playing your PS5 on a handheld device through a connection. And here's how it works. The Portal connects to your PS5 using something called Remote Play. As long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network, or sometimes even if you're away from home, depending on your setup, it streams your game directly to the Portal screen. Think of it as a second window for your PS5, not a standalone console. The device itself has no processing power for games, so everything is handled by your PlayStation 5 and just displayed on your Portal. So why the hate? For me it's a principle. When I think handheld, I want something portable and independent, not a device tied to another console. But there's a twist, and I'll get to that in just a second. First, let's talk about the downsides of this type of setup, because there are definitely some challenges. First off, delays and lag. Since the PlayStation Portal relies on streaming, every input and every frame of the game has to travel between your PS5 and the Portal over Wi-Fi. That means there's always going to be some level of latency. Even on a fast, stable network, you might notice a slight delay between pressing a button and seeing the action happening on the screen. And for the fast-paced games like shooters or fighting games, that can and will be a deal breaker. And then there's the stuttering. If your Wi-Fi connection isn't perfect, you could experience interruptions, where the video freezes or skips. This happens because the Portal depends on a steady data stream. Any hiccup in your network, like interference from other devices or poor router placement, can result in dropped frames or pixelated visuals. But why does this happen? The root of the problem is that the remote play technology is heavily dependent on both your internet speed and stability. It's not just about having a fast connection, it's about having one that doesn't fluctuate. Factors like distance from your router, other devices hogging bandwidth, or even network congestion can all contribute to performance issues. And don't even get me started on playing outside your home. If you try to use the Portal on a different Wi-Fi network, things get even trickier. Now the signal has to travel over the internet to reach your PS5, which adds more chances for lag and stuttering. But that's not all. Sometimes the problems aren't even technical. For example, if you're like me, you might have a partner who unplugs the PS5 to vacuum the living room, completely killing your connection. Or maybe kids who, instead of leaving the PS5 in rest mode so it can be accessed remotely, decide to shut it off entirely. So even if your network setup is perfect, real life can still get in the way of using the Portal smoothly. In the end, while the idea of streaming your PS5 games to a handheld is cool, the experience can be far from seamless. For some players, these issues are minor, but for others, especially those who demand precision in their games, it's hard to ignore. But all my concerns and initial skepticism were turned around when Sony's latest update was sent out to the PlayStation Portal. Because with Firmware 4.0.0, the PS Portal can now stream games directly from Sony's servers via cloud streaming. This means you no longer need a PS5 running in the background to do all the heavy lifting. So why is cloud streaming a better way to play games on the PS Portal? Well, first of all, it removes the dependency on your own console. You don't have to worry about whether your PS5 is on, in rest mode, or even connected to the internet. As long as you have a stable internet connection, you can stream directly from Sony's servers. This also means you can take your PS Portal with you anywhere and play without being tied to your home network. Secondly, since the games are hosted on powerful cloud servers, they aren't limited by the hardware of your PS5. These servers are optimized for smooth performance, so you might experience fewer hiccups compared to using Remote Play, which relies on your local setup. Things like lag and stuttering simply becomes less of an issue, assuming your internet is good enough. And lastly, it expands the Portal's potential. You're no longer limited to just the games installed on your PS5. You can access Sony's entire library of cloud streaming compatible titles. That opens up a whole new world of gaming, making the Portal feel more like a true standalone device, even if it's still technically streaming. In short, cloud streaming makes the PlayStation Portal far more versatile and user-friendly, addressing one of its biggest original flaws. You do need to be a PlayStation Plus Premium member to access cloud streaming, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. It's another subscription cost to factor in, and not everyone is thrilled about that. But on the flip side, with that membership, you gain access to a wide selection of games you might never have bought otherwise. It's a chance to explore titles you've been curious about without committing to a full purchase. So while the subscription is an extra hurdle, it does come with some pretty exciting perks for gamers looking to expand their horizons. So after all my skepticism, doubts and a fair bit of complaining, you might be wondering, why did I finally decide to buy the PlayStation Portal? Well, the combination of Sony's cloud streaming update and my love for handhelds really tipped the scales. The idea of being able to stream directly from Sony servers without needing my PS5 running in the background made the device so much more appealing. It went from feeling like a glorified mirror to something that's actually versatile and fun to use. And honestly, I'd be lying if I didn't say that this extremely cool 30th anniversary edition didn't play a role. I mean, come on, it's a piece of PlayStation history. As a longtime fan, I couldn't resist the sleek design and that nostalgic charm. So here I am with the PlayStation Portal in my hand, and I got to admit that it's won me over in ways I didn't expect. Is it perfect? No. But with the right updates and features, it's a device that finally feels like it's earned its place in my collection. And let's be real, it looks incredible doing it. Please like and subscribe.